God glory right where you are. Somebody right where you are. As we get ready to start praise and worship, give God the glory, give him the honor. Bless him right where you are. We pray that whatever is done and said this morning reaches you at your point of need. Somebody give God glory right where you are. God, we give you the honor. God, we give you the praise. And God, we thank you. Now, right where you are, I just need you to put your hands together with us real quick. And repeat after me real quick. Say, oh, 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 oh. Now, everybody just clap your hands and say, oh, 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 I need you to say that one more time with the say, oh, oh, oh. Now everybody just clap your hands and say, oh, oh, oh. Come on, say, behold he come, riding on a cloud, shining like the sun, and the trumpets call. Lift your voice, the year of Jubilee. Out of Zion's hill, salvation. Say, behold he comes. Everybody say, riding on a cloud, shining like the sun, and the trumpets call. You gotta lift your voice. It's the year of Jubilee. Out of Zion's hill, salvation. These are the days of Elijah, preparing the word of the Lord. And these are the days of your servant Moses, righteousness being restored. Yeah. These are the days of the harvest. The fields are white in the world, and we are the laborers in your vineyard, declaring the word of the Lord. Everybody say, behold he comes. Everybody say, riding on a cloud. Come on, say, shining like the sun, and the trumpets call. Lift your voice. Year of Jubilee. Out of Zion's hill, salvation. These are the days of Elijah, preparing the word of the Lord. Oh yeah. And these are the days of your servant Moses, righteousness being restored. Yeah. These are the days of your harvest. The fields are white in the world, and we are the laborers in your vineyard, declaring the word of the Lord. Everybody say, behold he comes. Everybody say, riding on a cloud. Yes, God. Shining like the sun, and the trumpets call. You gotta lift your voice. It's the year of Jubilee. Out of Zion's hill, salvation. Say, behold he comes. Everybody say, riding on a cloud, shining like the sun, and the trumpets call. Lift your voice. It's the year of Jubilee. Out of Zion's hill, salvation. Now right there, I just need you to put your hands together real quick. If you know that there's no God like the God that you serve, I need you to give him glory. Open your mouth and give him praise right where you are. Come on. And make your declaration this morning and help us say, there's no God like Jehovah. 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 Come on, say it. There's no God like Jehovah. There's no God like Jehovah. Say there's no God like Jehovah. Come on, say there's no God like Jehovah. There's no God like Jehovah. Everybody say there's no God like Jehovah. Everybody say there's no God like Jehovah. There's no God like Jehovah. Everybody Everybody say,
there's no God like Jehovah.
there's no God like
There's no God like
There's
Jehovah.
no God like
There's no God like
There's
Jehovah.
no God like
There's no God like
There's no
Jehovah.
God like
There's no God like
There's no
Jehovah.
God like
There's no God like
There's no
Jehovah.
God like
There's no God like
There's no
Jehovah.
God like
There's
him.
no God like
I try
Jehovah.
for myself,
There's no God like
and I
Jehovah.
know that I know
There's no God like
there's no
Jehovah.
God like him.
There's no God like
There's no
Jehovah.
God like him.
There's no God
Now
like
put your
Jehovah.
hands together.
Yeah.
Put your hands together. If you know that there's no God like the God you serve, somebody ought to give him praise.
Yes, God.
Now help us say that again. Say, there's no God like
There's no God like Jehovah.
Say,
There's no God like Jehovah.
come on, say.
There's no God like
Oh,
Jehovah.
there's no God like.
There's no God like
There's
Jehovah.
no God
There's
like.
no God like
There's no
Jehovah.
God like.
There's no God like
There's
Jehovah.
no God like.
There's no God like
There's
Jehovah.
no God like.
There's no God like Jehovah.
Come on, say.
There's no God like Jehovah.
Come on, say.
There's no God like Jehovah.
Everybody say.
There's no God like
There's
Jehovah.
no God like.
There's no God like Jehovah.
Come on, say.
There's no God like Jehovah.
Come on, say.
There's no God like Jehovah.
Come on, say.
There's no God like
There's no
Jehovah.
God like.
There's no God like
There's no
Jehovah.
God like.
There's no God like
There's no
Jehovah.
God like him.
There's no God like
There's no
Jehovah.
God like him.
There's no God like
I try to
Jehovah.
for myself,
There's no God like
and I
Jehovah.
know that I know
There's no God like
there's no
Jehovah.
God like him.
There's no God like
There's no
Jehovah.
God like him.
There's no God like
He put
Jehovah.
breath in my body.
There's no God like
There's no
Jehovah.
God like him.
There's no God like
There's no
Jehovah.
God like him.
There's no God like Jehovah.
There's
There's
no
no God like
There's no
Jehovah.
God like him.
There's no God like
No
Jehovah.
God like him.
There's no God like Jehovah.
There's no
There's no God like Jehovah.
There's no
There's no God
Now
like
put your
Jehovah.
hands together. Come on, somebody give him glory. Oh, we bless your name. If that's your declaration, come on, help us say this right here. Say, oh, Now everybody just clap your hands and say, Come on, say that with us again. Say, Everybody just clap your hands and say, Behold,
Behold, he comes, riding on a cloud,
come on, say,
shining like the sun, and the trumpets go.
you gotta lift your voice.
Lift your voice. It's the year of Jubilee.
Out of Zion, dear.
Out of Zion's hill,
Say,
salvation.
behold, he.
Behold, he comes,
Everybody say,
riding on a cloud, shining like the sun.
and the trumpet
And the
go.
trumpets
You
go.
gotta lift your voice.
Lift your voice. It's the year of Jubilee.
Out of Zion, dear.
Out of Zion's hill, salvation.
Now somebody bless him right there. And I need you to type in, there's no God like Jehovah. There's no God like him. There's no God like him. I've searched all over. Can't find nobody like the God we serve. Somebody give him glory. Right where you are, if you will, open your mouth and worship God. And as you worship him, find yourself giving God the best praise you can give him. For in these times, tomorrow's not promised, so I need to be found giving God the best praise I can give him. Somebody bless him. Oh, because the truth of the matter is, God, I'm nothing without you. So we need you, and we need you now. Bless your holy name, Jesus. Oh, song says, in him do I live, move in him and be. Say, in him do I live, move, and have my being.
In him do I live, move, and have my being.
In him do I live, move, and have my being.
In him do I live, move, and have my being.
Said I'm nothing without you.
I'm nothing without you.
Said I'm nothing without you.
I'm nothing without you.
Said I'm nothing without you.
I'm nothing without you.
Said I'm nothing without you.
I'm nothing without you.
In him do I live, move, and have my being.
In him do I live, move, and have my being.
In him do I live, move, and have my being.
In him do I live, move, and have my being.
Say, in him do I live, move, and have my being.
In him do I live, move, and have my being.
In him do I live, move, and have my being.
In him do I live, move, and have my being.
Say I'm nothing without you.
I'm nothing without you.
Said I'm nothing without you.
I'm nothing without you.
Said I'm nothing without you.
I'm nothing without you.
Said I'm nothing without you.
I'm nothing without you.
Said I'm nothing without you.
Nothing without you.
Said I'm nothing without you.
I'm nothing without you.
Said I'm nothing without you.
I'm nothing without you.
Said I'm nothing without you.
I'm nothing without you.
Oh, breathe through me, yeah. Live in me. Let your glory reign in me. Everybody say,
Breathe through me.
and live in me.
Live in me.
Let your glory
Let
reign
your glory reign
in me. Everybody say, breathe
Breathe through me.
and live in me.
Live in me.
Let your glory
Let your
reign
glory reign
in me. Say it again, breathe through me.
Breathe through me.
Oh, and live in me.
Live in me.
Let the glory
Let your
reign
glory reign
in me. So I need you to say, I'm nothing without you.
I'm nothing without you.
Said I'm nothing without you.
I'm nothing without you.
Said I'm nothing without you.
I'm nothing without you.
Said I'm nothing without you.
I'm nothing without you.
Said I'm nothing without you.
I'm nothing without you.
Said I'm nothing without you.
I'm nothing without you.
Said I'm nothing without you.
I'm nothing without you.
Said I'm nothing without you.
I'm nothing without you.
Said I'm nothing without you.
I'm nothing without you.
Said
nothing without you.
Said I'm nothing, I'm nothing.
I'm nothing without you.
Said I'm nothing without you, God.
Nothing without you.
I can't breathe without the Lord.
Nothing without you.
I don't want to move without you, Jesus.
I'm nothing without you.
I don't want to move without you, God.
Nothing without you.
Said I'm nothing, I'm nothing.
I'm nothing without you.
Said I'm nothing, I'm nothing.
I'm nothing without you.
Said I'm nothing, I'm nothing.
I'm nothing without you.
Said I'm nothing, I'm nothing.
I'm nothing without
Now right there, I need you to give God glory. I need you to open your mouth and I need you to let God know, God, I'm nothing without you, Jesus. I can't move, I can't breathe, I can't think, I can't live, I can't sing, I can't do anything without you. So right here we declare this morning, send your power down. Send your power down. Send your power down. Send your power down. Everybody say,
Send
come on, say
your power down. Send your power down.
everybody say,
Send your
say,
power down.
everybody say,
Send your power down.
everybody say,
Send
yeah,
your
yeah,
power down.
we need you today.
Send
Yeah, yeah,
power down.
we need you right here today. Yeah, yeah,
Power down.
we need you today.
Send
Yeah, yeah,
power down.
we can't move unless you send your.
Power down.
We're begging on you right now. We need you. 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 Yeah. We can't move unless you. Yeah. Yeah.
Power down.
We need you too. Yeah. Yeah.
Power down.
Just send it, God. Yeah. Yeah.
Power down.
We need you to.
Send
Yeah.
your power down.
Bless him right where you are.
Yeah.
We need you to send it on now, Lord. We need you to send your healing down, Jesus. Yeah. We need you to send your healing down, Lord. I can't move without you, Jesus. I can't move without you, Jesus. Oh, I can't move without you, Jesus. I can't move without you, Jesus. I need you to type that in and say, I can't move without you, Jesus. I can't move without you, Lord. I can't move without you, Lord. I can't move without you, Lord. Come on, I need you to say that. Say, I can't move without you, Jesus.
I can't move without you.
Yeah. I can't move without you, Lord.
I can't move without you.
Yeah. I can't move without you, Jesus.
I can't move without you.
Yeah. I can't move without you, Jesus.
I can't move without you.
Say, hey, Say, I can't live without you, Jesus.
I can't live without you.
Yeah, say, I can't live without you, Jesus.
I can't live without you.
Woo! I can't breathe without you, Jesus.
I can't breathe without you.
I can't breathe without you, Jesus.
I can't breathe without you.
Yeah, I can't live without you, Jesus.
I can't live without you.
I can't live without you, Jesus.
I can't live without you.
I can't live without you, Jesus.
I can't live without you.
I can't live without you, Jesus.
I can't live without you.
And if you can't live without them, tell them, said I'm nothing without you.
I'm nothing without you.
Said I'm nothing without you.
I'm nothing
yes, God.
without you.
Said I'm nothing without you.
I'm nothing without you.
Said I'm nothing without you.
I'm nothing without you.
Said I'm nothing without you.
I'm nothing without
Oh
you.
God, I'm nothing without you.
I'm nothing without you.
Said I'm nothing without you.
I'm nothing without you.
Said I'm nothing without you.
I'm nothing without you.
Said I'm nothing without you.
I'm nothing
Yeah.
without you.
Said I'm nothing without you.
I'm nothing
Oh,
without you.
said I'm nothing without you.
I'm nothing without you.
I'm nothing without you.
I'm nothing without you.
I'm nothing, I'm nothing.
I'm nothing without you.
Said I'm nothing, I'm nothing.
I'm nothing without you.
Said I'm nothing, I'm nothing.
I'm nothing without you.
Said I'm nothing without you.
I'm nothing without you.
Now right there, put a praise right where you are.
Hallelujah.
Bless you, Jesus.
Good morning, LCE. These are your announcements for Sunday, June 14th. Intercessory prayer will be Monday, 7 p.m., exclusively on Zoom. Please check our Facebook page for the link. There will be no Bible study on this Wednesday, June 10th. Thanks for joining us online at Life Changing Experience Worship Center, where God is changing lives one mind at a time.
Hello, everyone. God bless you. God bless you this morning. We're glad that you tuned in. God bless you. We trust that something has been said or done already, that it blessed you at your point of need. And we believe that something that's going to be said in today's message is going to bless you at your point of need. I say good morning to all of our LCE members streaming wherever you are, at your home or your job. Wherever you may be sitting outside in the back on the patio. God bless you guys for tuning in. But to all of those that are not LCE members, on behalf of myself and co-pastor and the rest of the LCE family, we say thank you for tuning in. We don't take that lightly. You could have streamed to anybody. You could have gone to anybody's church, but you chose to be here with us this morning, and we just say God bless you for that. This morning, we're going to do something a little bit different. We're into the month of June. We're coming around to Father's Day. I decided to reach back and take us down memory lane a little bit. I did a powerful series a few years ago called A Father's Dilemma. And that thing blessed us so. I was just so led to just reach back and grab today's message from that series And we're going to play that for you and let that bless you all over again. Again, this is coming from a series I did some years ago, a few years ago, called A Father's Dilemma. It is a series addressing the scenario of when God told Abraham to take Isaac up on a mountain and to sacrifice him. But I don't want to give the message away. I want you to sit back and relax and enjoy this message. This message is entitled, Leave Them with the Asses. Follow us now as we go to this message already in progress. Enjoy. Grab your Bibles. Let's go back to Genesis 22. Genesis 22, we're going to read verses 1 through 5 this time. Genesis 22, verses 1 through 5. While you're finding that, let me apologize to all of our leaders that came up for the meeting. I just completely forgot this morning. Let me apologize to you guys. I'm going to do something to make it up to y'all getting up coming, because I asked y'all to come and you came. Amen. Buy y'all a bag of potato chips or something. I mean, I got to do something for y'all. Coca-Cola or something, you know. Genesis 22, verses 1 through 5. We there? I'll read verses 1, 2, and 3. Y'all pick up with me at verse 4 and 5. Verse 1 says, And it came to pass after these things that God did tempt Abraham and said unto him, Abraham, and he said, Behold, here am I. He said, Take thy son, thine only son, whom thou lovest, get thee into the land of Moriah to offer him for a burnt offering upon one of the mountains, which I will tell thee of. Abraham rose up early in the morning and saddled his ass and took 2 of his young men with him and Isaac his son and clave the wood for the burnt offering and rose up and went into the place of which God had told him. Read with me. Then on the 3rd day, verse 5 rather says, And Abraham said unto the young men, Abide ye here with the ass, and I, the lad, shall go yonder. That's the old Natchez, Alabama word, yonder, to worship and come again to you. This is part 2 of A Father's Dilemma. A Father's Dilemma. But today, I want to talk to you for this particular message. Look at your neighbor and tell him, say, neighbor, leave him with the ass. For those who are mature enough and won't revert back to who you used to be, can understand that and say that because it's in the Bible first. Look at that other neighbor and tell him one more time, say, leave him with the ass. You may be seated in the presence of the Lord. I'm going to try not to hold you guys long. This little tad bit uncomfortable in here. I like it like this. I tell co-pastor all the time, I preach better when it's hot. I mean, that don't do nothing for y'all, but, you know, I go somewhere and it's hot in there. I say, okay, it's going to be hot tonight. We're going to work it. But I'm going to try not to hold you guys long. We again, have, and I'm going to do a quick recap, and then we're going to get on into where I'm trying to get to today. This is the month of June, the month that we celebrate Father's Day. Big ups to all the fathers. And we are understanding and seeing that the recognition of fathers in this day and time, especially a good father, is significant because of the rarity of finding a good father. They're just so hard to find these days. They don't make them like they used to.
For one, I think fathers are becoming fathers too young. And they're becoming fathers before they need to, because there are certain things that you need to have in place before you become somebody's dad. Yeah, and that's just not how it is now. But there's still some good fathers out there. Look at somebody and say, there's still some out there. I want to encourage you, if you are a single mother in here and you have a son, make sure that you get him to a mentor that can help them be a good man, because you are raising somebody's husband and somebody's father. And there's certain things, though you love him to death, and I get that, and you put him in his place and straighten him out and put what's happening on. I get all that. But there's certain things that you can't teach him that only a man can. And make sure that you get him a good mentor, not just somebody that's got, testicles. You got to have somebody that can really give, because good fathers breed good fathers. Good men breed good men. A tree is known by the fruit that is bad. A good tree, a corrupt tree, can't breed good fruit. So make sure you get him with a good mentor. Look at somebody and say, that one's free. Now, last week we had a conversation about two main things: a father's faith and a father's favor. A father's faith and a father's favor, centered around the father of faith himself, Abraham. We begin here in Genesis 22 with a conversation about the dynamics of a father-son relationship between Abraham and his son Isaac. Isaac was the promised son of Abraham, who happened to be well stricken in years when Isaac was born. Because of the delicacy and the timing of Isaac's birth, Abraham loved him with an indescribable love, because he was the son of his old age. If you study the scripture, Abraham's grandson Jacob, when you study scripture, you'll see that the reason why he was so broke up about Joseph, what he thought was dead, because Joseph and Benjamin was the sons of his old age. Sometimes you can love something so tight and so hard to where you can be overprotective sometimes. Do I have any overprotective parents? Don't raise your hand. I don't want your neighbor to know that, but sometimes you can even limit the growth of your child sometimes by being overprotective. And sometimes, my brother and sister, when you have waited on something for a long time, and when you finally get it, it's something that was promised really, you tend to love it with sort of a protective type of love. And that's what I believe was happening here with Abraham. He loved Isaac so much, it was like a protective type of love. And you got to be careful about that. And we asked last week, the question we asked was, what is your Isaac? What is it that you love so much that you really protective over it? And I get it sometimes. I get it, something that you've been waiting on for a long time. You tend to get overprotective about it. It might not be a son. It might not be a child. It could be a job. It could be anything. It could be a degree. It could be a status. It could be a significant other. It could be anything. It could be status. It could be your place in society. Whatever it is, if you've been waiting on it for a long time, a promotion or whatever it is, automobile, house, it doesn't matter. Sometimes those things can become your Isaac. And what happens is when God sees this type of affection that you have for the thing that he blessed you with, it triggers something in him, and he wants to explore that affection. He wants to look into that, because God has some things. He's big about this word called priority. He's real big about that, and we have to understand that. So all of this started with a test right here in verse 1 and 2. And it came to pass, verse 1, that after these things that God did tempt Abraham and said unto him, Abraham, and he said to him, here am I. he said, take thy son, thine only son, whom thou lovest, whom thou lovest. I hear a tinge of sarcasm in there. That boy that you love so much. Yeah, take him to the land of Moriah and offer him as a burnt offering on the mountain. I'm going to tell you where the mountain is when you get there. You just take him and leave. Now, this was a twofold test. First of all, the test was to test Abraham's love and attachment. Two, it was to test Abraham's faith and trust. Who do you love more, Abraham? Do you love God more, or do you love your son Isaac more? Yeah. God wanted to see, was Abraham willing to give up his son by obeying him and offering Isaac as a burnt offering? Who is your Isaac? What is your Isaac? And are you willing to give him back to God? Are you willing to give it back to God? Because the question that we labored to ask last week was, what is your Isaac? In other words, what is the thing that God is requesting that you sacrifice it on the altar of obedience to him? Because every person in this room got an Isaac somewhere. Yeah, look at your neighbor and say, neighbor, you got an Isaac somewhere. God was essentially saying to Abraham, I never meant for you to love what I blessed you with more than you love me. And just in case we're a little bit unclear about this, I tell you what, give Isaac back to me. Sometimes God will test that affection. And the thing that he blessed you with, he'll say, get that back to me. I just want to make sure that you understand that P word, priority. That you don't put anything in front of me. God is really key about that. Matter of fact, in the Old Testament, and this word sometimes throw a lot of people, the Bible said that God is a jealous God. In other words, he don't want anybody to have the affection that's supposed to go to him. So you got to be careful how you put different things on the pedestal of your heart. Or last week, as we found out, hide them in the casket of your heart. You have to be real careful about that, because sometimes God will peek in that casket and see who's in there. And last week we found out that casket was actually a deceptive disguise, because anytime you see a casket, you think something's dead in there. But no, affection says that when I hide it in a casket, it's alive. I just don't want nobody else to know it. And you have to be careful about that, because God is all-seeing and all-knowing. He knows what's in the casket of your heart. And God, I believe, peeked in the casket of Abraham's heart and saw that Isaac was in there instead of him. And so he says, give him back to me. Give him back to me. Take that son, that only son that you love, and give him back to me. Need I remind you, ladies and gentlemen, that the very first commandment that he gives out of the 10 is, thou shalt have no other God before me. And you got to be careful about that, my brothers and sisters, because anything that you love more than God will eventually become your God. That's good right there. Anything that you happen to love more than God. What do you mean love more than God? I love God. You don't love God? But there are some things, ladies and gentlemen, and you got to be real careful about that, because what I believe believers today have to do, especially my millennial crowd, y'all hear me good, hear me good. You have to make sure that you lump God and the things of God together, because you cannot separate them. Sometimes we get confused about that, because I love God with all my heart, but I still got, I'm finna do this over here because this is just something I want to do and all that. But see, God said, no. I need to be the priority in your life. I believe it was Richard Smallwood that wrote the timeless song that says, Jesus is the center of my joy. In other words, he's the reason why I get up. He's the reason why I go to sleep. He's the reason why I do everything. Everything has to be filtered through him first. I got to run it by God first to see what he said. He is the center. Look at your name and say, he is the center of my joy. So God tells Abraham, he said, take that boy that you love and go and sacrifice him. Give him back to me. I need to make sure that you're clear on this, that you don't love what I blessed you with more than you love me. But here's what I want to get to. Look at how Abraham responds to God's request. Here's what I'm trying to get to. Verse 3 says, and Abraham rose up early in the morning, saddled his ass, took 2 of his young men with him, and Isaac his son, and clave wood for the burnt offering, and rose up and went unto a place which God had told him. Listen to me good, ladies and gentlemen. Take these notes. If not, get the DVD. True obedience should be without delay. True obedience should be without delay, but with detail. Because those of us who really want to do the will of God, obey him faithfully, hear me now, in little things as well as great things. This shows God that we are willing, or shows him our willingness to obey him. We have to obey God and be faithful in little things as well as big things, in open things as well as hidden things, in significant things and menial things. You have to make sure that you let God know that you are always willing to obey him. Some people only want to obey God when they're getting something out of it. Yeah, some people will obey God as long as they can see what they're getting out of it. What do I get out of in this equation? And that could not have been Abraham's mindset, because he wasn't getting nothing out of the deal. Actually, he's fixing to lose something. Do I have any Abrahams in the house that's willing to obey God even when it seems like I'm going to suffer a loss? Sometimes we have to understand that God may be testing us to see where we are in the affection game, to make sure he wants to know, where am I in your heart? Matter of fact, do I take up all your heart, or do you leave space for just in case? Just in case this whole Jesus thing don't work, just in case this whole God thing doesn't work. Did you leave a little room in there just in case? And I know I'm talking to some people in here. Y'all ain't saying much, but that's all right. But I know most of us in this room always have a just in case. I asked co-pastor, and I often asked that, she's doing some stuff, putting stuff together, and I ask her, what is your plan B? Because, you need to have a plan B just in case plan A don't work and you're left out there, by yourself. But if you got a plan B, see, all of us, some kind of way have a plan B somewhere. Ain't get much help that there. Oh, yeah, you got a plan B. 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 All you single people in here, okay, all right. Whew, I better get out of that one. I better not go down there. Yeah. You always, and you need to have some plans just in case, and know some stuff up front to make sure that if you need to, you can get out before your heart get in it, because you need to have your plan B. Yeah. Oh, God have mercy. Y'all better be glad these young folk in here today. Yeah, you need to make sure that. Now, since I'm in there, let me pull up in a minute. Co-pastor, I've been that dude. You need to love yourself enough not to be somebody else's plan B. You don't want to be nobody's plan B. You don't want to be nobody's second choice, just in case they didn't want me, I'd take you. Yeah. Plan B work when you're buying cars and stuff. They don't say that when you go get that, but that don't work good in relationships. You don't need to be nobody's plan B. You always be plan B. And see, when you got somebody's plan B, A is always vacant, so that means that you are replaceable. Slap your neighbor and say, I ain't gonna be nobody's side chick. I don't care what you getting out the deal. Abraham, when he got this request from God, he moved. Somebody say he moved. He moved without question, without hesitation, without resistance in response to God's request for him to take Isaac up to a mountain and sacrifice him. Beloved, when God makes a request, a special or specific request from us, he expects us to move without debate or hesitation, because it says to him, whatever you want me to do, I'm willing to do. How many of you have debated with God when he made a request from you? He requested something from you, or requested you to do something, and you began to debate. Might not have been an open debate, but sometimes mental debates can be more powerful than verbal ones. Sometimes you will debate in your head back and forth, should I not? Should I do it? Should I not? Should I do it? Should I not? And it's one thing to do that with stuff that has nothing to do with a divine request, but when God says something, when his word declares a particular thing, when he demands something or commands us to do something, he wants us to do it without debate or delay. Look at you, maybe say quick obedience. See what this does. We as believers must do everything that is included, watch this, within the bonds and the scope of God's divine command, and we got to do it with diligence and haste. In other words, you got to be about God's business, and you got to do it quick and do it like you want to do it. The worst thing I want is for somebody to do something for me and act like they don't want to do it. You ever ask somebody to do something? I wish I had some help in here. Anybody ever ask your kids to do something, get up and do something, and they got to go to blowing and get up, moving all slow, and like I don't want to do this. And you want to take off your shoe and go to putting the what's happening on them. If I ask you to do something, I want you to get up and move quick. Because if you like me, anytime you got to beg somebody to do something, you don't want to do it no way. I tell you, but no, that's all right, that's right. Don't do it. 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 Stay right there. Stay right there. Stay right there. Stay right there. Sit back down. Sit back down. You all right. You all right. That's right. I just get somebody else to do it. Because if you don't really want to do it, I don't want you to do it. If you're going to take that much away from you to do it, just sit right there. You all right. 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 You're comfortable. When God says for us to do something, he wants us to do it with diligence and haste. That's quick, that's true obedience, because, watch this, indifferent obedience to God's command is practically disobedience. Because the word indifferent means having no particular interest at all. It means mediocre. It means neutral in respect to. In other words, whatever. I don't care if it gets done at all. It's just, and you can treat man like that, but I'm talking about God. I mean, see that kind of stuff. Young people, hear me. I'm glad y'all are here. Hear me. When you get out in the workforce, when you when you go to school, get your degree, get your diploma, go on to get your degree. When you get into the workforce, don't listen. Don't be listening to people who lazy and all of that. Talking about they disrespected me because they want you to be at work on time. And then when you get to work and they want you to do something, you dissing me. Well, they don't say diss no more. You disrespected me and you try to, and I hold me down, all that stuff. No. If they ask you to do something, do it. This is why a lot of people can't keep a job now, because they don't want nobody to tell them nothing. Unless you own the company, you're going to always have a boss. Look at your neighbor and tell them, unless you own the company, you're going to always have a boss. In other words, somebody going to always be telling you what to do. That means you got to do it if you want to get paid. The boss don't like me. No, the boss just wants you to sweep the floor. Grab the broom, boo, and start sweeping the floor. Well, I just don't sweep. Well, you ain't going to get paid. I just got my nails did. Well, you know you had to get the... Are you hearing what I'm saying? Look at somebody and say, do it quick. But then not just indifferent obedience, then you have careless obedience. Careless obedience to God's command is dead obedience, because the word careless means not concerned or worried about. In other words, your heart ain't in it. Your heart is not in it. And sometimes you can fake that for a while, but after a while, I'll see that your heart is not in it. Oh, God, I wish I had some evidence. I'll see after a while your heart is not in it. See, in ministry sometimes, what we as pastors have to wrestle with sometimes, especially when we have small numbers to where we don't have the personnel to swap people out and swap and do stuff like that, is sometimes, we have people that'll do stuff for a little while and then they'll quit, because their heart really not in it from the beginning. So when your heart is not in it, you only have about this much energy in your cup to do what you've been assigned to do, and that runs out quick. See, what your heart does is recharge your passion. And when the activity goes down, your heart recharges your passion, and you still got a reason to get up and do it. But when you have no passion for it, your heart is not in it, you'll do it about 2 weeks and quit, because you always find somewhere to do. Matter of fact, you come in looking for something else to do. Lord, y'all preach. I'm preaching a little bit better than y'all saying anything. And see, you have to be careful about that, because you have to understand that God sometimes asks you to do something through his man or woman of God. Yeah, because sometimes when he gives you, sometimes when he gifts you to do something, when he puts something on the inside of you, sometimes he will call for that thing back to him. And when he calls for it back to him, sometimes he put it in you for a particular purpose. Let me go a little further, at a particular place. And he said, okay, I sent you here, and you're here now, and I need what you have on the inside of you. I know what you got in you because I put it in you. And I need you to pour out what I put in you at this place, at this time, and you just keep pouring till I cut the spigot off. Don't pour until you can find something else to do. No, you pour until I say stop. Look at your neighbor and say, it's time to pour out. See, that's careless obedience. You do not want to do anything carelessly, because God does not like careless people. When you operate in a careless position, hear me now, it tends to lead towards slothfulness, and that's laziness, and God doesn't like laziness. He wants you to move and move quickly. Look at somebody and say, move and move quickly. When somebody said that I'm finna give you something, and all you got to do is get over here and get it, and it's this, and you believe it's something of significance, you'll move quick to go get it, won't you? Come on now, you'll move quick to go get it. But why is it when God asks us to do something, sometimes we get a little lackadaisical for it, because, we just, whatever. But you have to understand, sometimes God will hold your blessing back to see how you're going to respond through quick obedience or true obedience. And sometimes your blessing is on the other side of your obedience. Let me say that again. Sometimes your blessing is on the other side of your obedience. Sometimes your blessing is on the other side. In other words, you have to go through obedience to get to your blessing. In other words, there are many believers who want God to do stuff for them, but they don't want to do nothing for God. Let me say that again. There's some people that want God to do stuff for them, but they don't want to do nothing for him. But that's not how God works, ladies and gentlemen. God says, okay, you do this, and I'm going to do this for you. Okay, let me prove it. Lord, bless me, 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 bless me. Make me the head and not the tail, limb not the bar, above and not beneath. Bless, 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 bless. And you don't realize that Deuteronomy 28 starts off with if you would obey his commandments and his statutes, then all these blessings will come upon thee. And there was a great hush. He says, if you would. So all of that, I'm finna be the head and not the tail. No, you got to satisfy the if first. Y'all look shell-shocked. Look at your neighbor and say, minister to the if. When you do that, then God said, I got something for you on the other side of your obedience. See, this is not at all what Abraham did. The Bible said that Abraham rose up early in the morning. He got to moving real quick. Somebody say quick obedience. But look at verse 4. Let me hurry. Look at verse 4. Verse 4 says, then on the third day, Abraham lifted up his eyes and saw the place afar off. And Abraham said to his young men, after they had left, he got the wood. He took 2 young men with him. He brought wood for it. He had a knife on him. Had the fire with him, all of that. Took those 2 young men, verse 5, and he said unto the young man, abide ye here with the ass. And I and the lad are going yonder to worship and come again to you. Now, a couple of steps here I want to go about disobedience. Because disobedience, get this, and I want you to write this down if you're taking notes. It was guided by wisdom and governed by faith. Guided by wisdom. The word wisdom, actually, you can say prudence too. Wisdom and prudence are the same thing. Prudence means that you have a keen understanding of the future or the outcome of a particular thing. You use wisdom because you are always thinking of what the outcome would be. One of the questions that we asked the guys in our class last week was, and the point was, you measure twice but cut once. In other words, we were talking about how we're thinking about the consequences before we make decisions. Choices and decisions, because if you don't ever think about the consequences, you'll just fly by the seat of your pants and just let whatever happen. But no, sometimes you got to use wisdom and think a thing through. Because if you don't think a thing through, fellas, you got to be careful about that. If you don't think a thing through, you will go through 18 years of somebody taking money from you for 3 minutes of activity. I mean, depending on how old you are. Can I say something? I've been thinking it. I might as well say it. I've been thinking it. How many times does it take for ignorance to be eradicated? Okay, have one time. Okay. Maybe that was a fluke. Then it happens again. And now half your check gone. Then it happens again. Now you got to work 2 jobs. Then it happens again. Now you ain't gonna never have no money. Then you go and do it again. How many times does it take before ignorance is eradicated? And ladies, I can't leave y'all out. How many kids do it take? Walking a tightrope up here. For the life of me, how many do it take for you to wake up and use wisdom? Maybe I don't need to be doing this. Maybe I shouldn't have answered this phone. Because the last time I answered it, you came up. That's a whole nother teaching. That's a whole nother teaching. See, this is why you got to strengthen yourself up and not fall for the okadoke, because every time somebody tell you you fine and I love you, you just melt and just, you know. You got to start telling yourself, I know I'm fine. You ain't told me nothing I don't already know. This is why you got to get your esteem up, ladies, and you got to. Oh. Look at somebody say, don't fall for the okadoke. If they ever find out, that's all they got to say. And go buy your own Happy Meal. Folk getting what? Never mind. I'm trying to behave, y'all. I'm trying to behave. Man, y'all done got cheap. At least you used to take Applebee's or something. And a movie. Something. Come on. Well, you know I like them fries. No. Couple of things to these. Let me get out of there. I'm back. Y'all mess up my mess. Somebody said, guided by wisdom, governed by faith. First thing he did was he rose up early. Some theologians say possibly because he got this request in a night vision. It was something that God spoke to him through a dream or in a night vision. God used angels to drop messages off throughout the Old Testament through night visions and spoken to them in a dream. So he rose up early. Second thing he did was he prepared for a sacrifice. So now he begins to grab wood. He gathers wood for this sacrifice because this is what God told him to do, to get wood for a burnt offering. I'm going to get into this worship part next week, hopefully, if the Lord says the same. And then watch this. He leaves his servants at some distance a ways off. Why did he do that? Probably because he didn't want them to see what he was about to do and try to stop him from doing what God told him to do. Let me say that again. He said, y'all stay here with the ass, because he didn't want them, y'all make sure y'all hear what I'm saying now. He didn't want them to see what he was about to do and try to stop him from doing what God told him to do. Abraham says to his servants, abide ye here with the ass. Two reasons why, and we're going home. One, get this now, if I take you with me, you may see what I'm doing and don't understand what I'm doing and try to talk me out of and even try to stop me from doing what I'm doing. And though it may not mean much to you, it means everything to me. When people don't understand what you're doing, rather than try to make them understand, it's just better to leave them with their ass. Woo, boy, that's good. If I don't say nothing that's good in the message, that's good right there. Sometimes, listen, there are many believers that for one, we talk too much. That's the first thing. But then we're trying to convince everybody of what God told us to do, and we're trying to get everybody to agree with us. And a lot of times God will tell you to do something that's so against the grain that it doesn't make sense to nobody but you, because you said that I'm going to do whatever God tells me to do, and other people can't get there. And sometimes it's best for you to just leave them. Rather than try to make them understand, leave them with their ass. Rather than try to talk them into doing it, leave them with that. Rather than trying to make them get it, sometimes they just not go get it. Some people, you just gonna have to leave. Slap 3 people, say leave them with their ass. Y'all didn't slap nobody. High five 3 people and tell them leave them with their ass. Why is this message so significant in this day and in this hour and in this time? I'm glad you asked that, Pastor. It's because we are raising a generation of people, even in the church, that have no ability to do things on their own. Everybody has to have somebody to agree with them, to go along with them, because you have no confidence in yourself or your God. I came to tell you this morning, ladies and gentlemen, that there's some people that you can't take where you're trying to go. Oh God, I wish I had some help right there. You got to make up in your mind that there's some places that you got to go, even if you got to go alone. And everybody don't understand what God is doing in your life. Quit telling them everything that God said. Quit telling them what God told you to do. They'll try to talk. Let me tell you why they try to talk you out of it. They try to talk you out of it because God ain't talking to them. And if he ain't talking to them, they're not doing nothing. And it's one of the biggest problems that I got with black folk, if we got this crab mentality that we don't want to see nobody else do anything. And before I see you go up, I try to talk you out of what God is doing in your life. But what I came to tell you this morning is if you got people like that, leave them with the air. They don't understand it. They don't get it. They'll never get it. Some people are just ass people, and you got to leave. Slap 3 people, tell them leave them with the air. Leave them, leave them, leave them, leave them, leave them. Leave them, leave them, leave them, leave them. Just leave them right there. Just leave them right there. Leave them at I don't know. Leave them at our child. I wouldn't do it. Leave them. I wouldn't do that about you. Leave them right there. Leave them right there. Leave them right there. Leave them at indecision. Leave them at them not doing much. Leave them at no fruit. Leave them right there. Slap somebody. Tell them leave them with their head. That's the first school of thought. Second reason why I believe he left him, told him to stay here, is because, watch this, because worship requires relationship. There are some places in worship that you can't take everybody with you. Because certain levels of worship, watch this, require certain levels of sacrifice that some people may not be ready for. It may be better for them if you leave them with the air. There's some level. I have resigned myself to the point of understanding that in any worship experience in a church setting, that everybody is not going to go up. As a pastor, that breaks my heart because, of course, you want the whole house to go up. You want the whole house to be able to see God as he is. You want the whole house to be able to lift their hands and give God praise and worship God. You want the whole house to do it, but the truth of the matter is, some people are not on the same, don't have enough relationship with God to go to some of the places in worship because there are different levels. Oh, God. There are different levels of what you got out of court people that all they want to do is come in, because out of court deals with death of the flesh. That's just the praisers. Them the one that only want to come to church and just run around and hold up service and just give God praise. And I get that. That's good. But that's 2 more levels you got to get to, because then you got the inner court. Those are the people that know how to praise God, but those are the prayer people. Because in the inner courts, when they set up the incense, those are the intercessors. Those are the people that know how to pray as well as praise. Yeah, and you can get some things done. Yes, you can. If you don't believe me, ask Paul and Silas. The Bible said that at midnight they prayed and sang praises unto God. So I ain't hating on that. I'm not knocking that. But there is another level. Because once you go past the outer court and gone through the inner court, there's another. There is the holies of holies. that when you get in there, the very presence of God is shining so much, and ain't nobody turn no light on. That means your relationship with God is so much so that when he calls your name, you understand. And when you call his name, he understands. And when you get into that place, that means you don't need no help, because ain't nobody in there but you and God. Couldn't nobody go back there but the high priest in between you and God. So what are you saying, Pastor? Stop not praising God and not worshiping God because the next person ain't. And if they don't want to go, you ain't going. If they don't want to say amen, you ain't going to say amen. If they don't want to give God praise, you're not going to give God praise. If they don't want to do nothing, you're not going to do it. Baby, you'll miss out on what God wants to do in your life, because there's certain levels of worship that everybody is not ready for. There's certain levels of sacrifice that everybody's not ready for. You got to make up in your mind, it may be better for them if I leave them with their ass. Slap people, tell them just leave them with their ass, leave them with their ass. I'm going to leave them right there. I'm going to leave them right there. I'm going to leave you right there. I'm going to leave you right there. If you want to text, I'm going to leave you right at texting. I'm going to leave you right at I am, and I'm going to leave you right there at sending emojis. I'm going to leave you right there. If that's what you want to do, baby, I'm going to leave you right there. But I and the lad are going yonder. If all you want to do is chew gum and wander and fold your arm, I'm going to leave you right there. But me and the lad, we going to worship. I wish I had some worshipers in here that said, me and the lad are going to worship. We going to sacrifice. We going on in. And if you don't want to go, you stay right there with your ass. But I got somewhere I'm trying to get to it. Get up and go high five 8 people. The number new beginning. And said, leave them with their ass. Leave them with their ass. Leave them with their ass. Leave them. Leave them. Leave him, 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 leave him. I got somewhere I'm trying to go. Leave him. I don't like the song they singing. Leave them. I don't know what they doing. Leave them. It's too hot in here. Leave them. Leave them right there. I and the lad are going yonder. Grab your neighbor by the hand and shake it like you're going to shake it off. And I want you to ask a question. Neighbor, I wonder where yonder is. I'm glad you asked where yonder is. When I was growing up in the little town of Beatrice with the suburb of Natchez, sometimes we would say, we finna go over yonder to grandmama's house. In other words, it was a distance away from where I was. I may be at my house, but I knew that Mo's house is way over there. Where you finna go? I'm finna go over yonder. It was away from where I was. In other words, it took some effort. I had to do some walking if I didn't have a ride. If I couldn't get nobody to take me over there, I had to walk myself. I wish I had some help right there. Well, what are you saying, Pastor? If you can't get nobody to take you, if you can't get nobody to go with you, sometimes you got to go yonder all by yourself. Now grab that neighbor one more time and say, neighbor, if you want to go with me, then come on and go. But if you don't want to go, me and the lad are going yonder to worship. I don't want to leave you, but I can't have nobody stopping me. So you may have to stay here with the ass. In other words, if you can't keep up with me, because I got a pace I got to keep, because I'm on a time schedule. I ain't getting no younger. So whatever I'm going to do for God, I got to do it right now. Grab that neighbor one more time and say, neighbor, let's go yonder to worship. Let's go yonder to praise. Let's go yonder to give God a thankworthy praise. Open up your mouth and say, I'm almost yonder. I ain't quite there yet, but me and the lad are going to worship. Grab your neighbor and ask him, neighbor, are you my lad? Are you one of the young men? Do I have to leave you with the ass? and you going to grab my hand, and me and you are going yonder to worship, because I got a place that I got to keep, because I hear something calling me, and I'm trying to get to the one that I'm worshiping. Me and the lad are going yonder to worship God. Open up your mouth and give your God that kind of praise. Say it, say it, say it. Yeah, yeah. Throw your hands up, throw your head back, and say, go yonder, go yonder, go yonder, go yonder. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Look at your neighbor and say, neighbor, I don't know what you came to do, but I'm getting ready to go yonder to worship. Shout yeah, shout yeah, shout yeah. Yonder is a high place. Yonder is a high place. Yonder is a high place. He didn't say take him to the valley. That's a low place. He said take him on a mountaintop. Grab that neighbor and say, neighbor, we're getting ready to go up. Come on and go with me. Come on and go with me. Now open up your mouth and give God a praise. Go yonder. Go yonder. Go yonder. Go yonder. Go yonder. Yeah. Come on, come on, come on. Come on, come on. Come on. We're almost there. That's just out of court. Come on, we're almost there. That's just out. Go yonder. Go yonder. Come on, come on. Come on. Go yonder. Yet. Yet. Yes! Yeah! See, when the music stops, the worship don't have to stop. That's out of court stuff. That's people that are motivated by things on the outside. When you get to the inner court and the holders, you're not motivated from the outside. You're motivated from the inside.
Whew, man. Wasn't that something? Wasn't that awesome, man? That just brings back memories. That was a blessing. God have mercy, Jesus. Somebody type in, ooh, that blessed me. That really blessed me. Good God Almighty, that was something. Listen, I know that word was something that caused you to think and really got you excited. Leave them with their asses. Sometimes you just got to leave people where they are, leave things where they are, and let God take you on where He wants to take you. Listen, friends, you might have heard that message, and it blessed you to the point that you say, you know what? I don't know Christ. I want to give my life to Christ today. Today, I don't want to go another day without having Him in my life. If that's you, that just watched that message that blessed you to that point, I want you to repeat after me. Say this with me. Say, Lord Jesus, I thank you for being patient with me. I confess you with my mouth, believe in my heart. God has raised you from the dead. And now, I want you to come into my heart, be my Savior, be my Lord. In Jesus' name. Friends, if you just prayed that prayer, guess what? You are a part of the kingdom family of God. And we're excited about that. Listen, if you watched that, it blessed you, and you said, you know what, this is just what I've been looking for. And I want to unite with the body of believers right here at the Life Change Experience Worship Center. If you've been looking for a place and you believe that we are your tribe, we want you to be a part of our church. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to go to our Facebook page, and I want you to inbox us or message us all of your contact information. Let us know that you want to be a part of our church. For those that might have given your life to Christ, I want you to do the same. Go to our Facebook page, message us, and let us know that you gave your life to Christ. And then put in all your contact information, email, cell phone, however you want to be contacted, so that someone from our church can contact you and get you connected to our church here at LCE. Amen. Also, I want you to be a part of the giving experience. LCE members, God bless you. You've been well trained. You know what to do. But for the others who don't know, we have 3 ways to give. One, you can bring your gift to the church. Someone is here from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m., and they can receive your gift right here at the church. And if you don't know where our church is, it is right on the corner of Pace and Jackson, 2120 West Jackson Street, behind the Blues Angels Music Store. The second way that you can give is you can give by Givelify. That's our online giving. If you don't have the Givelify app, I want you to go to the App Store, download the Givelify application, scroll down till you see LCE, or Life Changing Experience Worship Center. You should see a picture of myself and co-pastor, and you can give any way you so choose, and any amount you so choose. And then the third way you can give, you can mail your gift in. Our mailing address is Life Changing Experience Worship Center, P.O. Box 17091, Pensacola, Florida, zip 32522. Again, that is the Life Changing Experience Worship Center, P.O. Box 17091, Pensacola, Florida, 32522. You can mail your gift and it will be received. Again, God bless you guys for tuning in. We trust that this word blessed you, and we thank God for you. We look forward to seeing you next week right here on our broadcast. God bless you. Pastor Montgomery out.